Good afternoon. Happy Saturday, everyone. Getting a little bit of a late kickoff here, but you know,
Kickoff nonetheless.
oops. A kickoff nonetheless. Absolutely. Before we really get into things, I do just want to address one thing. I hate to start the show off on a somber note here, but for all those that were affected in the tragedy Thursday night, including myself, I just want you to know that I'm there for you. I hear you. I'm with you. And anyone else that started Cooper Cup in the first week of playoffs, I am in full solidarity with you, and I understand your pain.
I was actually a victim of that, Cody. I'm glad you brought that up.
I
I
was
I
I,
was one
I
that
was a huge
sat
victim.
through every quarter, and I started Brock Purdy.
That's tough. And
But
Cup,
no, I didn't. I don't have Cup
uh,
in a single league. Actually, I was not a
yeah,
Cup.
I had Cup in our league, and starting off on a bad foot here. However, we
However,
do stand strong. We do not give up until it's over. We are going to
will not go
prevail.
quietly into the
We're
night.
going to get through this. And it's not over till the fat lady sings.
100%.
And like that one guy said, they might have had us in the first half. I ain't going to lie.
I ain't gonna
It's
lie.
not how you start. It's how you finish.
Are you still kicking in our playoffs in our league? The
Yeah.
14-man?
Yeah, I'm playing Eric.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, anyway, before we really do get into things, got to touch on these real quick. Promo code Get Right, 50% deposit match up $2,000 when you sign up with the code Get Right. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Get Right. Go get your free money. And of course, the ones we can't stop talking about. Couple weeks left, Jack. Someone in our league is going to get one of these bad boys here.
I already got that. I got a pretty high seed in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Me and
you want a
Corey, I
nice little
believe.
run there to end the year.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hot. You got to get hot at the right time, and I'm looking at these trophy smacks right here, and I'm licking my chops, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting fidgety in my seat looking at these trophy smacks here.
Yeah, again, another. You go over to Trophy Smack, get yourself one of these. Use promo code Get Right as well over there. They got rings. They got chains.
They got bling.
If you guys have watched the show, you know how we feel about that. They also got trophies and plaques as well. So go over and get some of those. Because, like we say, what's better than winning your league without flaunting something around for it?
You got to flaunt that ice, man. You got to have an icy ring and icy neck,
Something.
I still
The
to
belt,
this day.
not hold your pants up.
Keep them down.
All right, but yeah, we did miss the weekly recording show, so we're going to kind of mash
a little hybrid episode.
We're going to mash our weekly show and our Sweet Life Saturday show here. So as always, leave comments, questions in the comment section. But we're going to go over some things that we normally do on the recording show too, to try and get all of our ducks in a row here. I guess what we could start off with is we can just do our pick'ems for the week, get those out of the way.
For sure.
And we'll get those out of the way. We'll move into Survivor. And then we'll just talk about what the hell we want to talk about.
Whatever the hell we want.
Because this is our show and we could do what we want.
Yes, sir. All right. You want to kick off the pick'ems? You want me to kick off the pick'ems for us here?
Yeah, I got it pulled up if you don't have it pulled up.
I got it right here.
I know usually you run these, but if you want me to,
I'll run it. I'll keep putting in the thing, I suppose.
Okay. Well, I usually do one on my end too, but the picks that we don't agree on, I usually go with my own. And
you make your own.
One, so
yeah,
I do. However, before we do get into the pick'ems, Jack, let me take another moment of time of everyone's time here. We did have the waiver of or the wager of whoever lost pick'ems, would pay the bill. And actually, wait, give me 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I was actually going to concede. However, mathematically, we could still tie.
Okay.
I'm taking that back because we won't talk about it yet, but
didn't do a Survivor.
say a streak may have ended this week, Jack.
I'm no longer undefeated. The Titans let me down.
Streak may have ended, so that only puts you. There's 3 weeks to go.
I'm at 12-1.
I'm down 3 games. I need a win out. I need you to lose out, and we can tie this. We can tie this bad boy.
Yeah, and obviously neither one of us.
I'm happy I looked at that again.
Yeah,
I almost.
Obviously, neither one of us could pick the Niners or the Rams now, but
that was almost the second thing I did prematurely today.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. All right, but anyway, let's go.
I'm joking.
I'm joking. All right, you want to get into?
Yes, sir.
Want to kick us off here?
All right, the first matchup listed on FanDuel here is going to be Commanders at Saints, and the spread's pretty fat on this one. I'm leaning Manders. I'm not trying to run through our pick'ems too quick, but I mean this is a tough one.
I'm running Commanders here too. Commanders are still fighting for that last playoff spot, so they have a lot more to play for.
Mm-hmm.
Saints are going to start Jake Haener.
Yeah, they lost Derek Carr.
I mean, the only thing they really have to play for is better draft spot. So I'll go Commanders pretty easily. Yeah,
I'm locking in Commanders with you, brother. All right, running down the board quick here. Go to Cincinnati Bengals at Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans who let me down in Survivor this week. I have no problem rooting against them now.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem rooting against them either. I mean, they do have a decent defense. However, their offense is bad. They only put up 6 points against one of the league's worst defense last week. Bengals, very good offense. Also bad defense, but I think the Bengals take this one pretty easy.
Yeah, I agree. This is also the time of the season where if the Bengals are going to try and even have a chance.
I mean, the Bengals themselves are also fighting for a playoff spot. So
that's what I'm saying. If they want to have a chance at the playoffs, they have to get hot now, and they usually do get hot. Usually a little bit before this, they get hot in the season, historically, with Joe Burrow.
I mean, it's not like
they got to do it now.
They're not a hot team. They're just hot on one side of the ball and not the other. No.
Right. But I mean hot in terms of they've been suffering a lot of L's that they shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got to get back on track. I think they do so on the road in Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to do something about that defense, to finish this year out and going into next year.
Indubitably. All right, we're locking in the Bengals.
Yeah.
I think
that's pretty sound.
Miami Dolphins, the Gay Fish at Houston Texans. It's a fun one here. This is a weird one, I think.
This is a fun one. I think I know where I lean.
So Nico well, they're coming off a bye, right? The Texans are coming off a bye.
Texans are coming off a bye, yeah. I don't know. I kind of lean Miami here, though. Miami has been playing very well. Houston this year, their record could be kind of, as they say, misleading. I don't think they've been as good as a team as they have been, even just last year. Miami's looking hot. They're warming up. They're fighting for a playoff spot. I don't know. I kind of like Miami here.
I'm leaning towards the Texans here at home. I think coming off a bye, I feel like the Texans' shaky record has, scarred the way that we look at them and the way that we look at Stroud. And obviously, the performance is going to shape the way you look at anyone. But they're 8-5, and I mean they're not like a horrible team. Dolphins are 6-7.
Yeah.
I think that if I remember correctly, you picked C.J. Stroud to win MVP this year.
Preseason.
Or was it they may have been your Super Bowl dark horse team? Maybe both. I
mean, they both. I was high on both Stroud and the Texans. The only reason I really picked Stroud as the MVP is just I didn't want to pick a guy that everyone else was picking. So I was like, who's a guy that could win it who, not a lot of people are on board for. Mm-hmm. But no, I was super high on them going into the year. I don't know, man. Just Miami's been looking good the past couple of weeks. I think they're, they're fighting for that last playoff spot. And I don't know, man. My gut's just telling me.
If you really want to go Miami here, I'll go Miami with you. If you're really feeling
it. My gut's just telling me go Miami.
All right, we'll go. We'll lock it in.
All those snakes telling us to take Texans against the fish.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm not.
I mean, like I said, I can go either way.
I don't love it going so much because they want to go 500. Miami wants to go 7-7. They're in a more desperate situation than the Texans are. The Texans have that division pretty much figured out. But
I mean, I just see where the Texans find themselves in a lot of close games this year, and Miami knows how to win close games.
We'll go. We'll lock it. I'll lock in Miami with you. We're gonna lock in Miami.
We can circle back to it, but I kind of like Miami here.
I'll budge for you there. I could see them winning. It's a tough matchup, I will say. Spread is only
DraftKings has it at 3.
2.5 on FanDuel. So yeah, close game. All right.
Which it probably will be a field goal, 3-4 point game, if I had to imagine.
All right. The next matchup is Kansas City Chiefs on the road at Cleveland. Cleveland could do the funniest thing in the world this week, but I don't think they do, unfortunately. I think Kansas City wins another one. Spread's 4.5. I saw a stat the other day that if the Chiefs lost every one of their games that came down to one possession, they would have like 3 wins.
I saw that too.
So,
crazy.
And the offense for Kansas City has been struggling. Obviously, their defense has been phenomenal. Been top 10 defense. In the league. And then for a while,
teams. I also saw something like the only teams to not score 30 points this year has been them, the Raiders, I believe Giants,
Panthers,
and Patriots, I think, were like the only teams to not score 30.
Yeah.
Where 4 of those teams are getting a top 8 draft pick, and then
the Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs' offense has been underwhelming, to say the very least. Over-under is 43.5. I feel like it's just that under is going to be – that's going to be money right there.
Snake thinks Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I could see it, but I don't know.
Just because we want Cleveland to win doesn't mean they're going to win, though.
Which Jameis are we getting? I think that determines it.
Yeah, we're getting W eating Jameis, or are we getting –
Are we getting the
schlong eating
2 pick sixes in a game, Jameis?
Yeah,
I
don't know.
Good.
Against the Chiefs defense,
Kansas City.
Yeah, it's just
because it's, I don't know, it's Kansas City, and
it's Kansas
City.
City.
No matter what happens at this point, they're just going to win.
Yeah. All right, but the next matchup is the one I'm most excited to talk about, and I think you already know what it is.
Where you're going with this one.
And this matchup is Dallas Cowboys on the road at Carolina Panthers, baby.
You missed the most important part, the favored Carolina Panthers.
The favored Carolina Panthers, dude.
This is the first time in Bryce Young's career he's been favored.
In the NFL, yeah.
Well, yeah, in the NFL.
Yep.
So it's a big week. For you guys following the show, it's a big week for us here.
We are
sneaky. Panthers now favored.
As fans, yeah. It's funny, Cody. I just got.
We have the receipts though. Like we're not recent bandwagoners here. We have receipts since week 2. I think we jumped on
since Andy Dalton.
Yeah. Back in September 24th or something, whenever Andy Dalton Day was.
Andy Dalton Day, a day that will live in infamy.
Yeah, reminiscent of Pearl Harbor. I'm going to go with the Panthers. How am I going to pick against the Panthers the first time Bryce Young's been favored? I'm going with them.
Yeah, 100%. We got to lock in the Panthers, dude.
I mean, Bryce Young in the past 5 weeks probably playing his best football that he has played in his young career to this point.
Against the Eagles last week, the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL as of right now.
Almost won it.
Could have won it.
Caught that ball.
Leggett was too busy thinking about hunting raccoons and eating them on Thanksgiving, dude. That was wild. Did you see that?
I mean, when he was
about how his family eats like raccoon on Thanksgiving. I'm not judging him. But he was just talking about squirrels, raccoons. Like, it's just like that bayou down south. Like, whatever you could catch and eat, like, just go to town.
Throw it in the smoker.
Yeah.
Did you see that they made I think it's on Instagram or something. They made Christmas cards of like him talking.
No, but that sounds brilliant.
Yeah, check it out. It's hilarious.
Sounds like $1 million idea. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. It's hilarious.
Just talking on a Christmas tree. No, I love Xavier. I think let's get a Xavier Leggett bounce back game after all the hate on the miscatch. Let's get a little bounce back game.
Yeah, I mean, every receiver, drops passes.
Yeah.
It's just obviously in that
scenario.
I mean, Green Bay's leading the league this year in drop passes. So
Mr. Reed,
I know that.
Mr. Reed over there, jeepers.
It's a difference between dropping a pass in the first quarter than on a game-winning drive. Obviously, you're going to get a little more heat.
Debo knows about dropping balls.
Moment. He's not having an off year, though, according to himself. He's just not getting the ball.
He had 2 opportunities. One in the first quarter to silence the haters, and his first target he dropped. And then one later in the game, I believe in the third or fourth quarter, where he could probably taken it for a touchdown, and he was just too focused on moving those feet. I don't know what they teach you
on there, but he's got to get the stickum stuff you put in your gloves. He's got to get a new bottle of that.
He's got to go back to the basics with that one, man. I don't what is it they teach you in high school football? You got to catch and then run. You can't.
You
can see what. Yeah, you could see it though. He starts to like get ahead of himself. He's so in his head now. That's a problem too. Like, I can only imagine. Like, you start thinking. You just start thinking every single snap. You're like, oh,
especially a guy like Debo, who's ego is
through the roof.
Through his roof. Yeah, bigger than himself most times. So
yeah, which he's a great player. You just got to get back on the tracks. I don't know what he's doing, but
who knows?
Anyway, we're locking in Carolina, baby. Go blue.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Cody, I mentioned I just bought a new car this last week, and you know what color it is? Panther
Carolina
blue.
Nice.
Panther blue, baby.
You have to get like a little sticker on that, little decal.
Maybe an Eagles one first, and then I'll feel comfortable putting a Panther on.
Put like a number 9 or something on there.
What about Andy Dalton? Like a Andy Dalton sticker.
14.
Just his face. All right. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. We're having too much fun on this Saturday.
It's a beautiful Saturday. Happy to be here. Happy to be alive.
Yes,
life
sir.
Is sweet.
Sweet life football, baby. Sweet life Saturday. All right. Next matchup, we got the now out of the playoffs. This is just the irrelevant bowl of the NFL this year because it's the Jets at Jaguars. Neither one of them are going anywhere, doing anything. Just pick who do you think is going to have more fun playing the game?
Well, more fun, probably the Jaguars.
That's what I'm.
I mean, this is definitely
this is the dirt bowl.
I don't know.
Whoever wins, just
boring game of the week. But I mean, I'll go Jets here. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Where do you go? Because I mean, this game sucks.
It's a coin flip for me.
Yeah, I mean,
on paper, Jets offense.
On paper, I want to go Jets.
But yeah, I like Jets. I think I do like Jets. I think.
But I mean, the Jets this year, you can look back, like on paper, you like them over a bunch of teams that they should have beat this year, and they just didn't. So
yeah,
we'll go Jets, but I would not be surprised if the Jaguars win.
It's funny the way that the way that you look at a logo and uniforms changes based on how good that team is. Because prior to Aaron Rodgers going there, you look at the Jets, you look at the logo, you look at the green and the white, and you just think like poverty. you think L's galore, poverty, like dirty. They look bad. They look like a bad team. They just logo's bad. Everything's bad. And then as soon as Aaron Rodgers goes there, and like the hype, at least, obviously he got injured, but like, the beginning of this year when they would like at least scrape together like 1 or 2 wins like in the first couple of weeks, it's like, okay, like there's like this Jets team, like now it's potential. I think they got like new uniforms, like black helmets. It's like, wow, like this is actually like a hopeful Jets team. Like this could be something. And at this point, I just look at the logo the same way I've been the past like
I mean,
where,
at the end of the day, no offense to anyone who may drive this car, but all they did at the end of the day was take their 2000 Toyota Camry to the car wash. They just shined it up a little bit.
It might not even be a 2000
but at the end
Camry.
Of the day,
it might be.
It's still a 2000 Camry.
Yeah, they'll be lucky to be a 2000 Camry.
All right. Well, we have a couple questions, so we can pivot to that.
Sure.
Break up the segment here a little bit. Sanders, thanks for being here, man. Start 2, Jones, Dowdle, Pacheco, Tracy, or Hall Allen, whichever plays.
I'd go Hall / Allen and Jones.
Yeah, Hall Allen has probably the best matchup there. Who do the Vikings have this week?
They have the
Bears on Monday night. Yeah, so tough matchup there. Dowdle. Dallas is playing Carolina. Carolina does have the worst run defense, and Dowdle has kind of taken over that backfield. Pacheco, you like the situation he's in, but the Chiefs' offense just hasn't been great. Tracy's not a bad option. I mean, I know they're playing Baltimore,
Ravens,
but he catches a lot of balls out of the backfield. So if it's PPR, Tracy might not be a bad option. I mean, it's definitely Hall or Allen, and then probably Dowdle or Tracy would be my second.
Yeah, I like Jones. I think it's also fun. Jones has been scoring tutties on the Bears for as long as he could. His feet were on the gridiron, it seems. So that's kind of just like a fun little storyline there. And I've got Pacheco in almost every league. He was sort of like one of the guys that I had to have in every single league. And I'm just worried about his workload. It seems like he's been getting a little bit more of a workload with each passing week, but like I don't trust him enough to not share carries with Hunt or, a random crocodile hunter thrown in there at the goal line or something stupid. So I'd give it another.
For as bad as the Browns have been this year, I mean, their run defense is still pretty decent. So
that as well.
So, yeah, I mean, it's Hall Allen, and then
I lean Jones, you lean possibly Dowdle.
Dowdle, Tracy, those two are close to me. So, either one there. I mean, yeah.
Take your pick, Sanders.
All right, if I had to pick one out of Dowdle, Tracy, give me Dowdle.
Okay. He's locking in Dowdle.
Got one more. Terrell T, Superflex, need 2, Rodgers, Baker, Richardson. I want to go Rodgers just based off matchup. However,
Baker Richardson was my knee-jerk reaction.
Have to play for?
Yeah.
Colts have the Broncos. That's a tough matchup. Probably Rodgers and Baker.
I go Baker and Richardson. I just like the upside. I'm always shooting upside from the hip. And Rodgers, it's sometimes it obviously is important to look at matchups in fantasy, but as you know, probably more than I do, sometimes it doesn't even matter.
Oh, the matchup could burn you, absolutely.
It could burn you, but it could also just be like, I don't want to start, who's like a random quarterback. Like, I don't want to start Anthony Richardson against like Baltimore because their defense is good. And then it's like he runs for 3 touchdowns. Even though they lose, he gets 3 touchdowns. He rushes for 3 touchdowns. And it's like, you were technically right because you couldn't win. But in fantasy, all that matters is your individual stats. You know what I mean? I I could see Richardson running for his life. You know what I mean? In a game like
it's just tough. Like the Broncos have just been so good of a defense all year.
Yeah.
That's another team when we're talking about fighting for a playoff spot, which the Broncos are doing here too. Rodgers isn't the guy to just give up on a season. He's still going to want to come out and play good football because, you're hearing the rumors the Jets might not want him back. He wants to come back, just don't want him. So, he's got to play good enough football to end the year for some team next year to want him.
Yeah, it's also his stats, his ego. He's got to look good. He's got to feel good. He's got to go out with a little bit of a bang of like, oh, look, I'm still here. I'm still doing it. Blah blah blah. And it's funny. It'd be the most Aaron Rodgers thing to just win out now.
After being
wouldn't it be the funniest thing though to just like no turnovers, throw like two, 3 touchdowns a game for the rest of the season, win out.
Oh, sure. Just like screw the Jets.
Just to say, F you to the Jets.
I could definitely see it happening. I mean, I don't know what their schedule looks like, but they're playing the Jaguars this week.
Yeah, they could easily
Trevor Lawrence isn't there rest of the year, so it'll be Mac Jones again.
Mm-hmm.
Me, it's Rodgers and Baker.
Me, it's Baker and Richardson.
The argument for Richardson.
Yeah. Word. Take that with that what you will, Mr. Terrell. Or Terrell. Sorry if I mispronounced your name there, my brother.
Terrell,
all right.
It looks like. All right, which one do we leave off on? Oh, we just talked about the Jets and Jaguars.
We got Baltimore now, man.
Yeah, this is probably. DraftKings has it at a 16.5-point spread.
Wow.
Yeah, I am going to agree with Vegas here, and
I think it's
going to be Baltimore.
That's the biggest spread this year. It's got to be.
I would have to. I don't remember seeing one ever this high. Well, this year, so it has to be. Yeah.
Wow.
Not that it has to be just because I haven't seen one, and I say it has to be.
No, it has to be.
It's just I haven't seen one higher.
All right. No.
So that's probably the easiest pick of the week right there.
Yeah,
watch that. How we were just talking about, like, you think this and then anything could happen. Like, watch the Giants come out and fucking beat them by like 15.
You never know. All right.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. I think the spread is a lot. I think if you're a betting man and you look at 16.5, you might look at the Giants and say, could they at least keep it to like a 10-point game to at least 2 field goals and a touchdown type game, like at least, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it depends how conservative Baltimore decides to play. It depends on how hard the Giants defense can play. I think the Giants defensive line, that defensive front is really underrated. Their cornerbacks are atrocious.
There is one good.
Got it together, but their D line is like, that's the one thing they do not need to fix come this offseason.
Yeah, if there's one bright spot, it's the defensive line for sure.
Yeah.
But this is also a game I can see Baltimore going up like 28-0 halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah, like a college game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could see it. Speaking of college, go Army. Come on in about 20 minutes. Beat Navy. Let's go.
Go all members of our armed forces.
Boo.
I don't know. I don't really care. Not that I don't care about the game. I don't really have a leg.
Cody just said he doesn't care about the special forces.
Clip that.
Chat, clip that. Okay. All right. We're having too much fun. Ravens mollywop the Giants.
Yeah, it's Ravens probably pretty easy here.
All right. Now, I at least want to have a discussion about this one. Maybe not.
Let's have a discussion. These two 425 games, I don't know why they're playing them at the same time, but probably the two best games this week.
Yeah. No. We might be thinking about 2 different games. I'm talking about Colts at Broncos.
Oh, there's 3 at 425 this week.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a couple.
Oh.
1, 2.
There's 4, 5.
There's 5.
There's 5 of them. What the fuck?
It's getting late in the season now. They got to start cramming them.
Yeah, you're right. There's 2 Monday night games this week too. All right, never mind. Yeah, which one did you want to have a discussion on? I have a feeling I know which one, but oh no, you just said Colts Broncos.
Yeah, Colts at Broncos. I know we just discussed, the shakiness of starting Anthony Richardson, or at least the upside. Obviously, the Denver Broncos defense is top defense in the league, and Anthony Richardson has struggled with turning the ball over, but has been playing a little bit better the past couple weeks at least. Can he keep that consistency? I know he had a bye week. I think they are also coming off of. Are they also coming off a bye week this week?
The Colts, I believe
they
so.
Are. So you get that. You're going to have a little bit more of a looser, healthier AR. Bo fighting for offense.
The Broncos are coming off a bye too, though.
Oh, they are. You're right. Okay. Well, I've sort of talked myself back into the Broncos then, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Broncos. I kind of
in Mile High too.
A few weeks ago, I kind of jumped onto the Broncos wagon, and I'm kind of going with them here, only because I still am not a full. I don't know. I still haven't ever been a believer in Richardson. I know going into the season, I know a lot of guys who were very high on him, and I just didn't really see it. But yeah, I'm going Denver. Bo Nix has come into his own. Colts defense, not good. I'm going Denver.
Yeah, I'll lock in Denver with you. I do just
in Mile High too.
Yeah,
playing in Denver.
It's tough the way I look at AR, because when he was drafted, I was kind of like, didn't really have super good of a read on him. Didn't love him, didn't hate him. I thought he has the tools to, be an elite quarterback, especially an elite rushing quarterback. We've talked about it on the show. He has the frame of a Cam Newton. He has the rushing ability to be that type of a player, but he unfortunately just hasn't shown the awareness and, decision making, ball security, forte to really get over that hump. So it's going to be curious to see what the Colts want to do in this offseason and in the future. I don't think you can move on from him.
I think you probably give him one more year.
Yeah, at least not this year. I think you kind of have to just see what you got. You took him at 4th overall, 5th,
something like that.
It was like a top, almost a top early 5 pick. So you got to do something with him, and he can win you games sometimes, inconsistently. So who knows?
Yeah, give him one more year. One
more year for.
You got to think his first year he missed the whole season after playing, I think, 2 games or 2.5 games.
Yeah.
So this was really his first, we'll say full year, even though he did miss a couple this year too. So yeah, I think give him next year and see what happens.
A rookie quarterback that you and I both really do like, though. Not that AR is a rookie, but comparing him to his rookie year, rookie that we both love, is on the road this week in a Mr. Drake May at Arizona, and the Arizona Cardinals have just let me down time and time again.
Yeah, man, I already know where I'm going this week, and I'm sure you know where I'm going this week. However, you've been riding the Cardinals pretty heavy this year.
I know, I have. They keep letting me down, man. You picked Marv to be Offensive Rookie of the Year, which obviously
not looking.
I picked Keon Coleman, so that's not looking good either. But
what are you gonna do?
Marvin Harrison looked phenomenal coming out of Ohio State. Kind of rooting for him a little bit, and Cardinals come out with new uniforms. They got the all black helmets. They're looking swaggy. They're feeling good. Kyler Murray is getting all this hate from the Call of Duty memes and everything. And it's like, you know what? Let's turn this team around, okay? Let's get a guy like Marvin Harrison. Let's get a number 1 target, and let's bring this offense back to what it was when D-Hop was there, and bring back the connection that Kyler had with Hopkins, and just go on a streak. Let's just go on a tear. If you remember, they went on a 7 or 8 game undefeated streak when they signed D-Hop a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember who ended that streak.
Packers. Go Pack Go. Yeah.
Rasul Douglas interception in the end zone. I remember it to this day.
Mm-hmm. Well, flash forward to the year 2024, and the Cardinals, including Kyler Murray, have seemingly just not been it. I don't know what's wrong. Obviously, their defense is somewhat questionable.
It's just post-October Kyler Murray. He's just not good historically after the month of October. And not to mention the Call of Duty game came out this year too. So
true.
Also, we do have breaking news live. This just in via ESPN that Bill Belichick did inquire about the Jets head coaching vacancy before accepting the North Carolina job. Interesting.
News like that's funny though, because it's like, well, you're the head coach in North Carolina now, so what does that do? You know what I mean? Like you signed on the dotted line, like you're not going back. Like, although
it's just an interesting thing.
Who's to say he doesn't go to North Carolina, have a great time, do his thing, and then comes back to the NFL? Who knows?
No, he could. I know a lot of people are saying though that him going to college kind of burned the bridge of him going back to the NFL, and I don't know why or see how or what that would do. Because I mean, look at Jim Harbaugh. I mean, Harbaugh younger than Belichick, sure, but
came back and forth.
He did it.
Yeah, I think it's certainly possible. Bill Belichick is obviously only getting older, which I don't think really helps. And there is the possibility that he goes to college and not as a student, of course, goes to coach college.
You see the memes? He took the head coaching job there so his girlfriend could go tuition free.
It's wild. Bill's a player, dude. He's just a player. Just players got to play. You know, he can't get on the field and play, but he can play off the field. You know what I'm saying? So, let the man be. Okay. What would you be doing if you were Bill's situation? You know what I'm saying? We can't. What is it? He who is the least guilty cast the first stone or something like that. It's like, come on.
I mean, from what I saw and heard, he just wasn't getting a lot of NFL interest. So he kind of had to work with what he had. And, UNC keep calling, and we'll see what happens.
I like Patriots.
Yeah, I kind of forgot we were in the middle about talking the game.
Patriots.
Yeah, I like Patriots this week too.
Let's do it, man.
Did you know the past, I think 4 or 5 weeks, Drake May has more rushing yards than Lamar Jackson?
Dude, I know. I think he's on en route to break Mike Vick's record, actually.
Rookie rushing record or something.
Yeah.
By quarterback, yeah.
No, you don't think about it. Little white guy, in the red, white, and blue on the Patriots.
Sneaky athlete like Drake May.
Really sneaky athletic dude. But he likes to run. Gotta give him. He likes to run. So, and he might be doing
New England just drafts him a receiver in the first round. I know they're not. Historically they don't do that often.
They need wide receiver help so bad, though.
Yeah.
And there's some great rookie wide receivers coming out of the draft this year. I don't know what pick they're projected to have right now, but they should have
3 right now, I think 3 or 4.
Yeah. They get like a T-Mac out of Arizona, dude.
T-Mac. If you go the Travis Hunter route.
Hunter, if he's still sitting there, that would be Travis Hunter and Drake May. That would be kind of wild.
Yeah, I mean, even like
crazy.
I'm not gonna even try and McMillan. I don't even try and say his name. The guy out of Arizona, but he looks like a stud.
Tetero McMillan. People call. That's why I call him. His nickname's T-Mac. It's a little easier to say. He is awesome.
Did you see some of those catches? He was like awesome in practice, stuff like that. One he like went up one hand, and, like went between his legs and stuff. He's
just a super freak.
It's wild. Yeah.
That would be my number. That would be my. If I'm a team that needs a wide receiver, I would probably take T-Mac over Travis Hunter. If I don't have a.
Me too.
If I need like a true X, like wide receiver one, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. I'm going with them over Travis Hunter too. Only because I don't know. This was a couple of weeks ago. I saw this, but you know, I don't know if they were asking Travis Hunter necessarily, but like the speculation of, is he going to be a two-way player in NFL? Like, which is he going to play offense? Is he going to play defense? Is he going to try and play both? Because I know NFL teams aren't going to want him to play both sides, generally speaking.
Yeah.
NFL teams don't do that outside of like a few, you know, exceptions. But even Charles Woodson, he played both sides in college and he went to the NFL and just played one side.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see, because depending on what position he says, I mean, say, you know, we like to play the hypotheticals here. Say draft night or something, or like a week before draft night, Travis Hunter comes out and he's like, you know, in the NFL, like if an NFL team's going to make me play one side, I'd rather play defense. You know, that's going to affect his draft stock, you know, good or bad, or, you know, then he says, I want to play offense, you know, that's going to affect his draft stock, good or bad too. So
I'd be surprised though if he gave it. I'd be surprised though if he gave a straight answer like that. You'd probably expect a cookie cutter answer like, Mr. Hunter,
I'm going to do whatever the team needs me.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to do wherever they need me. Because at that point, does he play wide receiver or cornerback? I think it just depends on what team he goes to. If a team like Jacksonville with the number 1 pick projected decides to take him, you know, you probably plug him in that corner.
I mean, that or he becomes the NFL's Ohtani and really does just
start doing everything.
Do everything.
We'll see with Mr. Hunter does, and we'll see if he wins the Heisman tonight.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was about to mention that. We'll see. That is
took the words right out of my mouth. All right. Are you picking the Patriots at Cardinals?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I like it.
I'm good with that.
All right. Moving on now. A couple more games left. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Los Angeles Chargers. This is gonna be a good game, I think. It's gonna be like
It is going to be a good game. I agree.
And I'm curious to know who you think, because I got my pick.
I
got their records here if you want to hear their records as well.
I'm going to go. I don't know. This is tough. It's close.
It's tough. I don't know if I'm assuming Ladd McConkey's going to be healthy this week, but I'm not sure. I don't know what he suffered.
I don't know either. I know he's still questionable.
So there is that.
We have Bucky Irving on the Bucs questionable as well.
Although Rachaad White did very well last week.
Played well, yeah. I probably gonna go.
Don't push too hard.
I might. I'm gonna not overthink it, and I'm just gonna go with my gut, and my gut's telling me go Chargers.
Oh, I'm thinking Buccaneers, man.
That's fine with me. I mean, we can go Bucs. I'm not gonna.
All right, word.
I'm not gonna this one. I don't know.
I leaned on you with Miami. Can you lean with me on Tampa?
Yeah, that's fine.
Word.
I'm not. I don't. Like I said, I don't. I'm too on the fence to use a veto here. So
call us Bill Withers. How much we're leaning on each other today, dude. Call us Lil Yachty with all the lean floating around.
When you're not strong.
All right, we're gonna lock in Tampa Bay. They're plus 130. Like, I know Chargers are good, but like Tampa Bay's got like dude. Like they got pieces, dude.
Sure,
they got pieces. I think Baker can go in there and.
Although I went all in on Cade Otton earlier in the season as my tight end in fantasy in one of my leagues.
Oof.
And this was after he had that 3-game skid of like just going off and scoring like 19 points 3 straight games, and then I don't know if he scored over 10 since. So I really went all in, and that kind of bit me in the ass. Well, not really, because my tight end was Evan Ingram, and he just got announced that he's out for the rest of the year. So
yeah, how about Jonnu Smith in terms of like late tight ends?
It's been having a nice little year.
Dude, in the past 3 straight weeks, he scored over like 20 points in fantasy. Might be 4 straight weeks. They have for whatever reason, Mike McDaniel just said, you know what, let's just get him incredibly involved.
I mean, he's always been good. Don't forget, a couple of years ago, he signed one of the larger tight end contracts, in the league when he went to the Patriots.
He was on the Patriots. Was he on the Titans before that?
He was on the Titans, and then the Patriots signed them, and then I think he went to Atlanta for a couple of years.
Oh, really?
And then Miami. And then I don't know if I'm missing a destination, but.
Okay. Yeah, Jonnu, I mean, dog.
Sure.
Dog. Just in terms of sleeper little tight ends. All right, we'll lock it in Tampa Bay. And I think what you did last week.
We have another breaking news here, according to The Athletic. According to The Athletic, they project Sam Darnold could get a $40 million a year deal.
Well, he's more deserving of it than Daniel Jones, and he got that. So I think that's warranted. I think that's fine. Why not?
The way he's played this year, I mean.
I don't know what you do when you got young JJ on the bench, but I guess you just let him cook. You do like a Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love type deal with that, I guess. You kind of forced to.
Thankfully, we're not the ones that'll have to make that decision. So,
yeah. Well, good for Sam. Comeback player of the year? ? Probably should be.
He's definitely in the running.
This next matchup, I'm going to let you take the reins at first.
I mean, these are probably the 2 best games of the week here.
Steelers at Philly.
So
at Philly.
It is in Philly. And Pittsburgh has not won in Philly since 1963 or 65. So it's been quite some time. However, I got a quick little tidbit of information for you. Do you know what Saquon Barkley's career stats against the Steelers are?
Are they low?
I don't want to give it away.
I don't know. I don't know what they are.
Not good. So Saquon Barkley's stats of the day, or stat of the day, we'll call it. But Saquon Barkley career stats for Steelers. He has 15 rushing attempts. So it probably sounds like he played only one game. However, in those 15 rushing attempts, he has 6 yards for an average of 0.4 yards per carry. Obviously, on a different team this year.
Different offensive line.
Definitely have much better success than that. And I think with that being said, I'll go Philly. Both Philly.
After that scary stat?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The defense has been playing, crazy good. George Pickens looks like he's going to miss another week.
Oh, that's big. I did not know that.
That's big. So I'm going to go Philly, even though I don't know what this drama that's been going on with them. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, and I don't know, whatever the hell's going on there. But I'll go Philly here just because I don't think the Steelers offense will be able to keep up.
Yeah, I think I heard about the Brandon Graham remarks. I think Brandon Graham, any Eagles fan or anyone who is just a Brandon Graham fan or an NFL fan and knows the man, Mr. Brandon Graham. Sounds like I'm freestyle rapping right now with all these bars. But Brandon Graham, he's been known to be a massive trash talker, have a very large mouth, which is that's why people love him, and that's why I love him. And he came out early this season before it started and mentioned that this is probably going to be his last year, and it's very unfortunate that he kind of got it cut short with the injury. After a phenomenal game, he had like a great last game, like TFLs, like a lot of tackles in against the Commanders. It was like a great divisional last game for him to go out on. But someone, for some reason, asked him about the relationship between A.J. Brown and Jalen, and he mentioned something along the lines of, "Oh, right now, I can tell you they're probably not really good friends right now, blah, blah, blah." Just because that's how he talks, and that's just like the context of BG, and because you look at the numbers right now, they are not passing the ball. Why? Because they've been able to run the ball. Because Saquon Barkley is in the running for MVP, and it's just arguably better.
And the rushing record for the year, so.
Right. You could break Eric Dickerson's rushing record. So it's like, he broke a Eagles franchise single season rushing record. He broke Shady McCoy's rushing record this year. And, I'm not going to lie. And I love A.J. Brown. But I absolutely cannot stand when wide receivers complain that they're not getting the ball. I actually hate it. Because, number one, okay, if you're a wide receiver, and I've never played the game of football, okay, so you got to take everything I say with a grain of salt. I wish I did, but I did not for reasons unknown. However, if you're a wide receiver, you can't control how many times you get the ball. That's going to come down to the plays, going to come down to the quarterback. It's going to come down to with the defense. It comes down to a lot of different things, but you cannot control that. You could run the best route in the world and be open on every single play, but you might only see the ball 3 times a game with 1 touchdown, because that's just the way that the game of football works. If you're a running back,
like we opened the show on the Cooper Kupp game this, Thursday night. So
nothing. Jaden Reed last week.
5 years he didn't make a catch. So
it's ridiculous.
Sadly happens.
But he can't control it because Matt Stafford probably just didn't like what he saw. The time that Cooper Kupp did get a target or whatever it was, either the defense played too well or Cooper Kupp couldn't come down with the ball. And that's just the way that position works. You're playing wide receiver. You understand what comes with playing wide receiver. The ball is now out of your control. It's out of your hands until it is, so to speak. The running back position, however, that quarterback hands you the ball. You get that ball, especially if you are the number 1 running back in a team that is not a running back by committee team. You will see that ball 15 times a game.
Sure.
There's no telling that you're going to have a wide open gap to run 50 yards every time. You could get stuffed at the line or tackled for a loss. But when you get that ball, that is now on you making the reads, following assignments. You do what you got to do. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Eagles, thankfully, have been blessed with a great offensive line, a MVP caliber player in Saquon Barkley, who every single time he touches that ball, he's averaging over 6 yards. Why would you not hand it to him every single time? That's how you win games. So when you hear a guy like A.J. Brown come out and say, oh, I'm not getting the ball, blah, 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 whatever. Like, doesn't it have to kind of like frustrate you a little bit? Like, imagine if it was, I'm sure there's been a player in the Packers in the past where it's like, if let's say Jaden Reed came out, it was like a Deebo Samuel situation, or even the A.J. Brown situation to mirror the situation. It's like, oh, why am I not seeing the ball? It's like Josh Jacobs is running the ball like pretty well. Like, what do you want? Like, there's 3 other wide receivers on the team. Like, you're not on the Tennessee Titans anymore, where you're bad and you have to chuck the ball up 30 times, all game because you can't run the ball and because you're down by 21 points. Like, if you really want to touch the ball and get 3 touchdowns a game, or just have 150 yards, 200 yards every game, go to a bad team. Go to the Browns. Go to the Browns. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want? What do you want? Or do you want to win a Super Bowl and be a team player? I'm sorry. I agree. Do that.
No. I was letting you cook, man. No, I agree with everything. It's the Eagles have found a recipe in offense that is working, and I'm a firm believer, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And look, if that's gonna upset some of your players, then maybe there's some stuff you got to do internally.
Yeah, and I think no one knows what goes on in the locker room behind closed doors. Since that has come out and A.J. Brown's comments have come out about him not getting the ball and whatever, last week he's seen on the sideline hugging Jalen. They're got their heads on top of each other, like talking and whatever.
I mean, I'm
and
sure it was just overblown because that's what media talking heads
does.
and guys like us love to do.
Yeah.
We always like to be, we like to act like we know everything and we know what's going on. And we want to say a prediction. And if it comes right, then we'd be like, oh, I told you.
Yeah. I told you.
All right.
Yeah. But sorry, I had to go off on that tangent because
no, you're fine.
I do think everything's fine. I think AJ is also just a baller. And who knows, if AJ was on a team like the Vikings with a Sam Darnold to fill in for that Justin Jefferson role, AJ probably is in that conversation of, a top wide receiver in the league or on a team like the Bengals in a place of Jamar. Who knows? That's just a hypothetical, but he's on a team with a great running back right now. Let's let the running back run the ball. And
yeah, I mean, especially, I get it if like your running back wasn't breaking the single season record this year, but he's on pace for it. So
yeah, and AJ's still gonna get his bones. He's still gonna get his third down chucks and everything. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna get. I don't think he's seen double-digit targets since week 1, but he's still getting 6, 7, 8 targets a game. So
yeah, like what do you want, bro?
Exactly. So are we going Philly here?
I'm locking in Philly. After all that long rant, let's run the ball, man.
All right. And speaking of AJ Brown, to kind of break up the pick'ems here, we got more questions rolling in.
Sure.
We got I apologize, I don't know how to pronounce that name, and I don't want to offend, so I'm not going to attempt. But we have 0.5 PPR projected to be pretty even. Pick 2 out of Rico, AJ Brown, and Kamara. If you know anything about Big Mike, who works over at the Get Right channel, he'll tell you to always start your studs. And I'm going to echo that. Start your studs. You're starting AJ Brown and Kamara. I think Saints will be checked down city with Jake Haener. He's going to catch probably 5 passes.
I agree.
Rico, we don't really know what's going to go on there. They are playing a bad Carolina defense that has looked better over the past couple of weeks. But I don't know. I'm not,
especially that half PPR.
If it's, I'm not starting Rico over at either of these guys. So
factual.
Now, don't get me wrong. Could Rico score more points than either of them this week? Sure, but I'm not gonna rely on it.
Yeah. I'll see what happens. AJ, speaking of running the ball for the Eagles, it's a tough Pittsburgh team, so they probably are going to have to pass it up. So.
No, not really.
I mean, if you like the stack, obviously.
Stack's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you can live by the stack, you die by the stack. If the Steelers shut down the Eagles offense, then you're screwed. And, sorry that we gave you bad information and advice, but
I'd go with the
I just don't see Rico Dowdle scoring that much more points than AJ Brown. I mean, I think Kamara has a big week this week just because I think he's going to catch a ton of passes this week, and they're going to rely on him a lot. But no, I'm going to go AJ Brown and Kamara.
Me as well, man.
And then we have another one with Kamara here. We have Garrett Wilson or Kamara, full PPR right now. I'm leaning Kamara. Yeah, I'm leaning Kamara too. Garrett Wilson has a great matchup playing Jacksonville. Like I said, I just think they're going to use Kamara a whole shit ton this week. And in PPR, even better because I think he's going to catch a ton of passes.
Yeah, locking in Kamara there.
Yeah, he says, without Pickens, I don't see Steelers being competitive. Yeah, me either. However, the Steelers' defense is still very good. So, I mean, it sounds like the Eagles are going to, I think the Eagles are going to win. We just picked them in our pick'ems here. However, I could see a scenario where, Steelers somehow are up like 20-17 and Philly's got to make a couple drives,
Oh, I don't think that it's going to be I don't think that it's not going to be competitive. Yeah. I think that the Steelers defense is legit, even though they are without Pickens. It's going to come down to the Phillies offense being able to run the ball as well as they have against a very real Steelers defense.
Yeah, because I mean, we see what the Eagles did against the Carolinas defense last week. We won't necessarily say light up the scoreboard there, and they're playing a much better defense this week. So
yeah,
even without Pickens, it's going to be a close game.
Yep, agreed.
We'll get one more question here. It looks like we just got all right. So one more question here. We'll keep going. Killer Calf 4201 Rodgers, Stroud, Winston, or Baker. Like we said earlier, Rodgers has the best matchup of the four here.
I'm thinking Rodgers or Stroud.
I'm going to stay away from Winston. Playing the Chiefs. Chiefs defense has been good this year. Baker, Tampa Bay. We just touched on them. Who the hell are they playing again?
Tampa Bay is playing the Chargers, so
that's great. So another good defensive matchup.
Yeah,
I think the Chargers are still the only team to not allow over 200 points or something this year as a defense. Rodgers has a great matchup, but I could see the Miami-Houston game being a shootout.
Barn burner, yeah. Yep. Get the horses out of the barn.
I think I go Stroud.
Stroud's the fun pick if you're if you need like a floor pick. I think Rodgers is your safest one, but Stroud is who I would probably start.
I think I'm gonna go Stroud. And then Killer Kev's got one more for us. AJ Brown, Nico, Jettas, London, pick 3. Probably your first 3 there. Brown, Nico, Jettas. I'll probably leave London off the board. Kirk Cousins has been abysmal over the past couple weeks. And with that, matchup's decent. They're playing Las Vegas. I don't know. The passing offense just hasn't been that good recently for me to want to start London over any of those 3 guys. So Brown, Nico, Jettas.
Agreed.
And we'll lock that in.
I agree. Start the studs, baby.
Exactly.
All right. Where did we leave off on the pick'ems here?
Ooh. We're at the last 425 slot here.
Yes, we are. And that is this should be game of the week.
You would think.
This should be game of the week here with Buffalo Bills at Detroit. This is possible Super Bowl matchup.
I know where I'm leaning. It's not just because I'm salty, but I'm going to go Buffalo only because Detroit's defense is super banged up right now.
Yeah.
It is in Detroit, which, bodes well for Detroit. Great home team. I don't know. Detroit's defense, they were literally calling dudes like the week up to the Green Bay game, like, hey, we need fucking players. Could you come play for us, basically? Their defense is just way too banged up for me. I think they have like 11 dudes on IR or something, which different teams you can get away with it. I mean, they beat Green Bay and that's whatever. But I don't think they could get away with it with the Bills. So I'm going to go Bills. And Bills being a plus 124 underdog, I like that.
Yeah, FanDuel, they're plus 118, but, very marginal difference. They have this being a very high scoring game as well, over under 54.5. I do like Bills. I mean,
even the Bills, they lost last week, but they still put up 42 and, they had a good game. I mean, not defensively, but
Keon Coleman might be coming back this week as well. And Kincaid, which is, Kincaid how much has Kincaid been contributing thus far? Not much, but I think it still helps.
Sure.
Josh Allen on an MVP run himself, trying to, shove his name in there with guys like Shaquan, but probably arguably MVP frontrunner right now, Josh Allen, probably.
That, and if you want to, we can get into your record scenarios too. Mm-hmm. Detroit's got to lose at least one more by the end of the year, I think, and I don't see Buffalo losing 2 in a row.
Yeah, Detroit's 12-1. Buffalo's 10-3. I think Buffalo gets a win here.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Makes sense in the book, but we'll see if it comes to life as we lock in the Bills. And now we go to your Green Bay Packers on the road.
Yeah, so tough one here. No Jair Alexander still. He'll be out. I think Dobbs is possibly coming back. I have to look. I don't remember. In Seattle, which is tough. Seattle's pretty good at home. Green Bay been playing very sound offensively as of late. I don't see Green Bay dropping 2 in a row. So I'm going to go Green Bay and hope I don't jinx them.
We're going to go Green Bay and hope we don't jinx them.
The last time these
Seattle.
Guys, in the past couple of matchups between these guys, Seattle's had the upper hand. We had the fail Mary, and then we had the I forget what year it was, but Green Bay was up like 22-0 at halftime or something, and then Seattle ended up winning. I mean, that was probably 10 years ago, but still the memories that sit in my head.
I
like Green Bay.
I like Green Bay here. Seattle's division is so weird this year. 49ers, Cardinals, or Rams also in that division?
49ers, Cardinals, yeah, Rams.
None of them have been playing particularly well. I think that division stays kind of in a weird limbo. Yeah. Do think that Seattle is still leading that division, if I'm not incorrect, but
I believe so.
I think Green Bay gets a leg up in their own limbo division as well. So
I mean, that's the thing too. Green Bay fighting for a wild card spot. So I mean, LaFleur's really good towards the end of the year. I mean, I know they lost last week, but it was close, and couple things that happened in that game that could have very easily changed the outcome. But can't go back and change things.
No, you cannot. But we can lock them in.
Good lock
in 2024.
We're gonna.
Well, you're gonna, dude. Lock it in. Green Bay going to a divisional game in the Packers division. The Chicago Bears on the road in Minnesota against the Vikings this week. Spread is 7. I think the Bears are actually cursed. Like, I legitimately think they are.
I'm fine with it.
I can't say that about a lot of teams, but the way that they've been losing one possession, one possession games this season has been really sad. I mean, if I was a Bears fan,
it's not sad to me, but
not sad to
you. The unbiased, take me as just an NFL watcher, not a Green Bay fan. Yeah, it is kind of sad, but
yeah, I got no dog in the fight in that division. So it's kind of just, it's rough, blocked field goals, missed field goals, things of that nature, special teams, biting in the ass, head coach problems, seemingly never ending. I think there's hope with Caleb. There is some real hope. Hope in the offense too, really, is, is does Keenan Allen come back next year? Who knows? But, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, hopefully DeAndre Swift sticks around. Hopefully he could be a part of that offense for the next year or so.
Playing like booty cheeks. I think their biggest problem is their offensive line. I think if they really address that, they could be a pretty sound offensive team.
They've been banged up on
it. Learned, that was their biggest problem when Justin Fields was in town. And for whatever reason, they wanted to blame Justin Fields and not his offensive line. I think once they realize, hey, we need to protect our quarterback. It's, not necessarily his fault he isn't producing. If he doesn't have time to throw, how is he going to throw?
Right. I mean, Fields also likes to, and this is the difference between Fields and Caleb Williams and why Caleb has shown flashes of being a NFL caliber starting quarterback. There's been numerous occasions where Fields is in the pocket before it collapses, and he just chooses to roll out because that's just his nature, and he collapses the pocket himself. Whereas this season, I recall it happening a couple times in the Thanksgiving game, actually, where regardless of how poorly the offensive linemen are blocking for Caleb, he will sit in the pocket step up into it as much as it can, to the point where there are just dudes like surrounding him, and he'll get the ball out quick. And obviously he runs around when he has to, or when he feels that it's best. But I just think that Justin Fields, yeah, he definitely didn't have a great offensive line either, but he also wasn't helping himself. Whereas there's some light at the end of the tunnel, at least with a guy like Caleb, where, okay, yeah, your offensive line hasn't been healthy either. Tevin Jenkins is just, his bones are made of glass, unfortunately. And he's already not like a real blue chip, 5-star player to begin with. So you go in the draft, you go in free agency, try and bolster the offensive line a little bit better. And I think there's hope for the future, but this year just has not been the year that they wanted. They've strung together 4 wins. You fire your head coach. You look forward to next year again, and I think the Vikings win this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a close game, and Minnesota has been shown, proven time and time again that they are another team that's very good at winning close games. And it's in Minnesota, and the team's playing super well this year, and Chicago's not. So yeah, I'm okay going Minnesota here.
Word. Yeah, they beat the Cardinals by only a single point, I believe, 2 weeks ago. So they know how to keep it close and win them close.
I mean, they laid the smackdown last week, but against the Falcons, I think it was.
Oh, well.
Sammy D dropped 5 touchdowns.
Speaking of the Falcons, that's the last game. The other Monday night game, Falcons at Raiders. Raiders are starting, I believe, Gardner Minshew now. Is Aiden O'Connell out? What's the deal with that?
No, I think they're starting Desmond Ridder.
Oh, give me the Falcons. This is the Desmond Ridder Bowl.
I mean, the Falcons have to bounce back at some point, and I mean, this seems like it's going to be the one. But yeah, is it the Desmond Ridder revenge game?
It certainly could be.
It could be, but I mean, we talked about Kirk earlier and how bad
Desmond Ridder's got no help. He's got no help, man.
I mean, they got to get it right eventually. I mean, they're only a game out of the division lead, or 2.
They're 6-7.
Yeah, so they're right there, and I think Bucs lead at 8-8.
I think Raiders lose another game to get
They're not 8-8, or whatever the record is. But yeah, I mean, they're right there.
The Raiders?
For the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers are 7-6.
Yeah, so they're right there for division lead there, and they beat the Bucs both times. So if they win this week, Bucs lose this week, Falcons are back in first place in that division. So,
yeah.
I mean, you think this is the game they win, get right back on track?
Desmond Ridder is going to try everything in his heart and soul to turn it around. Any given Sunday, anything can happen, but it's tough to look at these teams on paper. And you look at the Falcons, Kirk has been playing below average, which is very unfortunate, as I think that we're both sort of Kirk fans. But you got guys like Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts to get the ball off to. I mean, even backup running back Tyler Algier, good. You have a good depth chart. You have a solid depth chart, and then you look at the Raiders, who are down to their 3rd-string quarterback in Desmond Ridder. Running backs that most guys probably can't even name. You got Zamir White
and McCormick, baby.
Yeah, Alexander Madison, if he's even healthy or playing.
I think White will be out again, and I think Madison will play. But head coach came out and said that Sincere McCormick's RB1, and he'll be getting the bulk of the carries and work.
Yeah,
I mean I'm sure you'll see Madison in there, but
yeah.
McCormick
they do weird stuff with their running backs. It's taking the phrase running back by committee to a whole new realm in Las Vegas there. But
I mean, when you have a team where you don't truly have a RB1 per se, I mean, it's just kind of what you got to do.
Yeah, it doesn't help you though. I don't think.
No, it doesn't help you at all. No,
it's like it's like quantity over quality. It's like a lot of mid instead of just a little bit of good. It's just a whole ton of mid. And then wide receivers, who can you even name that's a wide receiver other than Jacoby Myers?
Trey Tucker.
I don't know.
That's about it.
I don't know who the hell that is.
Well, Brock Bowers.
Okay, don't forget about Brock. I'm sorry for the Brock slander. I forgot about Brock.
No slander Brock. So you got Brock, you got Jacoby, you got Trey Tucker, you have some other guys whatever happened, speaking of, I know this is kind of off topic here, but whatever happened to I'm gonna forget his name. Receiver out of Clemson, little white guy that the Raiders drafted. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
His name? Why can I
remember Hunter Renfrow?
Hunter Renfrow. Whatever happened to him? Is he still playing?
I was thinking about him the other day.
Because he was pretty good his first year or two.
He was injury prone. He was a decent guy. He was injury prone last year, I believe. Hunter
just kind of disappeared.
Hunter Renfrow. Let me pull up the. I think he's still on the roster.
Is he?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Still on the roster. I think he is 28. So he's not particularly old, but
he was Deshaun Watson's go-to guy at Clemson.
Oh yeah?
He's the one that caught that game winner against Alabama, the Natty Championship.
Yeah. Let's look at the depth chart just for fun. Well,
was he buried?
Not even on the depth chart. So if he's on the roster, he's buried.
He might be on the roster. We got more breaking news coming in. We have Trayvon Diggs will be out for the rest of the season. He will undergo knee surgery. So
let's go Panthers.
Hasn't been bad enough. That just adds to it.
Let's go Panthers. All right, so we're locking in Falcons.
Yeah, we're locking Falcons. And there it is.
We could win a lot of money this week.
Yeah, no
over 1,600 bones.
No vetoes this week, no?
Or wait, $2. Sorry, I almost forgot to put down $1 for you. 2 bones. 3,300 bones we could win from that guy. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, we're in straight agreement this week, Jack. No veto.
Yeah, and I actually just locked it in, so I hope that you weren't going to use a veto.
No. I'm just saying we're in full agreement there.
It was good.
I think that's only happened like one other week. I think.
Yeah.
Look at us getting along.
Hey, look at us.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Not me.
All right. Well, we did the pick'ems, and another thing that we do during the weekly show that we pre-record and everything is our Survivor picks. Not really Survivor picks. I know Survivor traditional, once you pick wrong, you're out. But we kind of just do a season-long one. However, Jack, I know we touched on it earlier, and it's tough, but your undefeated streak has come to an end.
I can't even believe it.
It was great. It was a good run, though, man. I'm happy I was able to be on this separate square, sitting right next to you as you went on this great run. But all good things come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
But I will give you.
Now props. You got to hope that I lose out here,
which only opens up a potential for me to tie, not win. If we tie, we'll have to figure out something. But a tie is still highly improbable. You need to lose 3 in a row. And I need to win 3 in a row.
Anything can happen, man. The Titans let me down against the Jags.
Which we said about getting hot at the right time. I'm on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 9-game streak here.
There you go.
Catching heat here.
Catching heat.
All right. So just to recap, last week you went Titans. That sadly gave you your first loss of the year. I took Buccaneers. That got me a dub to keep this streak alive and my chances of not winning but tying alive. I believe I picked first last week. So, Jack, you'll kick us off first this week.
Have I picked the Green Bay Packers yet?
You have not.
Have I picked the Vikings yet?
You have not.
Have I picked the Falcons yet?
You also have not. So you got options here.
I want the Falcons this week. I want to lock them in. I want to save my Packer and Viking pick.
Falcons it is.
Well, I think all three teams could win. I'm going to save the better team.
All right. And I knew I was keeping this one for when I would need it, when I need a win. I have not used the Ravens yet. Even this week.
You're praying the Giants don't burn you again.
I will. I don't know. I don't even know what happened.
There'd be a live. Times. You would see Cody crash out live on Sweet Life.
Jack, you might just be doing this by yourself next week if that's the case. But yeah, I was going to use Ravens earlier in the year, and I didn't. I knew it was a good play to save them. So we're gonna save it this week. We're gonna chalk in the Ravens. So we got my Ravens, your Falcons, going Birds this week.
Yeah.
I need the win here. I need a win. I need you to lose. Which now it's tough because I'm voting against the Falcons in Survivor, but I need to vote for them in our pickups. Now you got me in a little catch-22 here.
Yeah. At the end of the day, though, you got to root for what gets you the most money, and if you
can, technically, both is good. Both is money, technically.
But if you can get $13,000 over,
then
$50 to $40 on the wins.
I would say, Jack, just take the $30 out of my winnings.
Yeah.
Call it a day there. So we didn't do, as you guys already know, we didn't do the recorded show this week, but there was a topic I wanted to bring up, which was it influenced by that last Thursday night game, Green Bay and Detroit? It might have been. And, every week we seem to, look back on a call or no call that we're very up in the air about. We don't know if it was the right call, if it should have been called or whatever. So I'm not going to go on a tangent about the game or anything about calls that I thought should have been called, calls that were called I didn't think should have been called. That's not the tangent I'm going on here today. The tangent I want to bring up today is the NFL. They classify themselves as part of the entertainment industry. And there's also another, we'll say, sport that considers himself in the entertainment industry. And I used to watch it growing up all the time. I don't know if you did, Jack, but the WWE.
WWE, yeah.
So they're both part of this entertainment industry. And, one of these businesses is scripted, pre-planned, results are already figured out. And then the other's the WWE. Basically, the question, and I've had this conversation with some people before, is, or not question, but confusion. Why, if they both in the entertainment industry, why are we allowed to bet on NFL games and cannot bet on WWE outcomes?
Well, I think the difference
because they're both in the sports entertainment.
Right. They're both sports entertainment. And this is not me throwing any ounce of shade at WWE. But the WWE is less of a competitive sport in the sense that each team in the NFL, like it is allegedly.
I mean, I do know. Obviously, it's much super hat on, but fix the WWE. Don't get me wrong. It's one guy versus one guy. Hey, do this. You do this. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Usually, whoever wins or loses is kind of somewhat predetermined. Whereas in the NFL, it's much harder to actually throw a game together like that without the inclusion of referees, which is really the only asterisk next to the, oh, we can never fake the NFL, because you can't, and there'd be too many people that would have to be in on it. All the players would have to be
fake.
right.
I'm
right.
saying,
But
I think,
why can't you bet on it? You just want to bet on. You just want to be able to bet on.
It's not even like could I want to bet on the WWE. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's just maybe I'm just losing my mind.
You're just comparing and contrasting is all.
Because like I said, it's obviously much easier to fix the WWE, and
yes.
they are paid they're actors. I mean, they're athletes. Don't get me wrong; those guys are fucking jacked. And
oh yeah,
but end of the day, they're actors. Whereas NFL, it is athletes. They went to college, played football there, did whatever there. But I'm just saying it doesn't. I feel them being in the same industry, it allows the NFL to maybe have a script, maybe be some influence, some fixing of some sorts.
So there's definitely entertainment aspects that bleed into the NFL. It's like people say NFL is like the greatest reality TV show because it is real. Like it's very real, and the storylines are very real. Like, do you think that when they made the schedule, the NFL schedule, the year that Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford each got traded to each other's teams, the Lions and the Rams, do you think it was just a coincidence that the schedule maker had the Lions playing the Rams that year? No.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, you gotta write that in. You make it a thing. Same thing with, I can't remember if it was on the schedule the first year that he was traded or if it was even on the schedule. It wasn't on the schedule this year, I don't think. But like the Jets playing the Packers, like did that happen year one?
No, that didn't happen since. It hasn't happened since Rodgers.
They can't make it super.
It might have happened last year, but Rodgers was hurt. I don't remember.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Like it might have been on there, but regardless, they.
But yeah, I mean, they don't. For sure, they definitely do that.
They don't make it overwhelmingly obvious and like overwhelmingly just about the story of players and stuff, but it's definitely taken into account. There's always, we mentioned it, the Falcons and the Raiders this week. No one could have foreseen the Raiders signing Desmond Ridder. I don't think that it happened at the beginning of the season. It might have. Maybe that was.
I think he was like on practice squad for a while.
Something like that, but what was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Kirk playing the Vikings, like
yeah.
There's always this. There's always narratives. There's always storylines. There's always revenge games. There's always comeback games. There's obviously divisional matchups are huge, but I don't think that you could necessarily compare. I don't think the WWE and the NFL could be similar in some aspects of entertainment, but you'd almost have to have the Venn diagram of, okay, yeah, in the middle, they meet up with entertainment and storylines and stuff that they forge and create, fabricate and whatever. But then, there's some things on either side that are different about that the two of them don't have in common. And I think one of the things on the NFL side is that this is much more of a competitive sport where each side really like legitimately wants to win. They get paid to win. They get paid to actually compete and take it out of the hands of each other. Whereas in the WWE, players are more able to just follow the script, and just take.
I mean, I just think obviously not all I don't think the players in the NFL are in on it by any means, but I think there might be meetings prior to certain games sometimes where the refs get together and, hey, Roger really wants Detroit to win this one. Maybe some iffy calls, we're gonna lean their way on. I think that could go on.
It could.
And if anyone's ever seen the documentary, it was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but of course I'm not going to remember the guy's name, but the one one referee for the NBA years ago got caught fixing games.
I'm not saying it's I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility, and I'm just putting my
tinfoil hat on.
I'm a very salty.
I just think it needs to be looked into. I think.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's.
I agree.
I don't think it's fixed, the NFL, by any means. I don't think it's fixed. I don't think it's like, oh, this is what's going to happen. The NFL script. There's no actual NFL script. However, I think there is influence, maybe.
Ambigual influence.
Yeah.
That's the right thing. Ambigual is a real word. And holy God, that's the word of the day.
Ambigual, word of the day.
I don't know if it is, but
sounds good.
There's ambiguity in some of the calls where you couldn't call it, you could throw it, you couldn't, and I'm still salty to this day about the way that the Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl ended, because that James Bradbury hold, while he came out and said that it was a hold, if that's just a regular season game, I feel like 70% of the games they don't call that.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
That's the point. That's what I'm saying.
Who knows? It's actually great. Remind me about this. There's a video I'll send you. It's like a 20-minute video on it goes into deep detail about this stuff. The guy made a great video about it. Yeah.
That's just my tinfoil hat tangent.
I get it. They just have to take out the ambiguity of the rules is all.
Metcalf or JSN and Dynasty Standard. I think I'm going to lean JSN, especially Dynasty wise. I don't know. JSN's been kind of tearing it up of late. Although Standard, maybe, I don't know.
Like, who would you rather have, like, going forward, or just starting this week? Like, is this just starting this week? Because starting this week, I kind of like taking Metcalf. But obviously, Dynasty, the younger guy, maybe you give.
Well, no, this week I would take JSN because Metcalf. I mean, without Jared Alexander, Green Bay's secondary is not good, but JSN will probably get, your Eric Stokes or Ballantyne matchup where, as streaky of a defender as Keyshawn Nixon is, he's still better than these other guys.
He said, who's more valuable in Dynasty Standard, which is
I would say JSN, I think. Younger,
probably the younger guy, yeah.
You like the youth in Dynasty, but like I think I don't know, Smith's been going his way a lot lately over.
Not that DK's old, but
Oh no.
But yeah, I know for sure.
Yeah.
Usually guys are going to value the younger guy regardless. Depends on your league mates too.
If it's Standard though, maybe I lean Metcalf because I think Metcalf has better chances to score each week.
Yeah, I like.
If it was PPR, I would go JSN. Standard, I might lean Metcalf.
I personally like Metcalf more. Like if I was doing a trade with someone hypothetically, and I wanted to get the most value out of it, I'd be happier getting DK than JSN most likely in the show, especially
Standard. I agree. I would go Metcalf. So I'd probably go Metcalf there.
That's my 2 cents into the jar for you, Mr. Roll.
Mr. The Roll. Oh, look at me after coming up there. Going forward. We are going forward. We're all going forward. Last time, let's get these bad boys
up on here.
Throw some stuff up on there.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get right over at Underdog Fantasy. When you use code GETRIGHT, get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Nothing better than some free money, in my opinion. Go deposit money, and they're going to give you a match of what you put in, up to $2,000, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And, we talked about them earlier, too, and
Trophy Smack, baby.
Stuff that Trophy Smack has over there. Like Jack and I said, our playoff started. Someone in our league's getting this bad boy. I hope it's me, but after that Cooper Kupp performance, I'm not feeling too good. So we'll see what happens there, but also go over to Trophy Smack. Use code GETRIGHT because nothing better than win your fantasy league if you can't showboat it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jack. Any last things you want to go over? Anything?
Go Army beat Navy. Navy's up 7-0 right now.
And I do care about our armed forces. I just don't necessarily care about this football game today. I know I should. It's a huge tradition, but
massive.
I know. Years prior, I usually watch it. Today, probably
still first quarter. I'm probably gonna go watch it as soon as I get off here. So
yeah, we'll wrap it up. Let's go watch some football. Let's get out of here.
Watch some football, boys.
Jacko.
Also the Heisman tonight.
Heisman for the Heisman. Yes. Genty for Heisman.
Probably gonna be Travis.
Marking nothing but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided.